you struggle with self doubt? Many people do, and it's something that you can learn to overcome quickly. Let's take a closer look at 6 different ways that you can overcome self doubt and gain self esteem and be able to reach your goals without holding yourself back. So, number one, we want to change our negative self talk. Negative self talk can damage our self esteem and therefore induce self doubt, right? You know that voice that's in your head that tells you you're not ready for that or you're not pretty enough for that. Negative self talk is normal, we all have it, but we can work to change it to positive self talk. Typically, it stems from our childhood experiences, right? Maybe we were living authentically and someone snapped at us and said, "You can't act like that." So, this little voice inside our head begins. And the best way to change this, right, is when a negative thought pops into your head, change it around. So, for example, if you say to yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, right? Instead, change it to, I can do this, I am enough. I may just need more fill in the blank, education, practice, stuff like that. At first, some of this might feel silly, right? But at some point, you will begin to form a new neural pathway in the brain, which, is ready for positive. Okay? Number two, we want to start using positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are great for you to practice when you're struggling with self-doubt and self-esteem issues, okay? This will help you overcome your self-doubt. An excellent way to begin practicing self-affirmations is to wake up and do them first thing in the morning. You can make a list of 10 to 15 positive things about yourself and make them I am statements and say them out loud every morning as part of your morning wellness routine. Depending on what is causing your self-doubt, you can gear your I am statements to focus on those feelings. If you're not into positive affirmations and saying them out loud, which some people aren't, you can write them down in a journal, right? Physically writing them on paper too, because the brain is more into it when we use our hands to physically write versus typing on a keyboard. Okay, number 3, we want to practice self-love, right? And one of the best ways to practice self-love is self-care. Self-love is it's kind of foreign for many of us, right? We are used to filling the role of mother, wife, father, husbands, caretakers, that we seemingly forget number 1, which is ourself. So you cannot fill up somebody else's cup from an empty glass, right? So you need to practice self-love and self-care. A self-care routine can literally include anything that does this. But it's a good place to start on the physical body first, right? Toxins are everywhere in the environment. The food, the water, the air, just everywhere, right? And so all this stuff builds up over time in our bodies. So what we do is we need to work on our physical body. Change the way you eat, sleep, exercise, and you'll soon start to notice that these feelings of self-doubt seem to fade into the background, right? Number 4, we want to heal our inner critic. So I often hear people say, silence the inner critic. Me personally, I don't know that that's the best route. I suggest to my clients to heal their inner critic. And now here's the difference between the two, right? When you silence it, you repress it. And we all know what happens when we repress stuff, right? It comes back and explodes like a volcano all over everybody, especially the ones you love the most. So we want to heal the inner critic. You want to work on your inner child. By practicing inner child work, you will begin to heal that voice that keeps telling you that you're not good enough. And it's only there because someone told you as a child, in one way or another, that you weren't good enough. So you need to talk to your inner child and tell them, hey, you are good enough, right? Number 5, we want to stop comparing ourselves to others, okay? Nothing is worse for your self-doubt and trying to overcome it than to play the compare game, okay? And this is what social media does to people. That's why I often suggest taking a step back from social media, right? You are what makes you happy. So the best way to learn to overcome self-doubt is to stop comparing yourself and your family in your life to everyone else's and stay in your lane and on your path. Your journey isn't going to look like everybody else's, right? It's different, and that's okay. That's what makes the world unique and not full of cookie cutter slave drones, right? Number 6, we want to discover what our limiting beliefs are. Limiting beliefs are ideas that are limiting, right? So, for example, if you say, well, I don't have time to work on self-care because I have a job. That's a limiting belief that's holding you back. You can definitely make time for self-care, and you can still work 3 jobs if you want, okay? Another common limiting belief that I see is, I need to change who I am because who I am isn't good enough to go after my dreams. It's baloney, okay? You can see how these types of beliefs will, hold you back. And maybe in your heart, you feel that they are 100% true, but they just aren't. And they're drastically holding you back from reaching your goals. So the first step is to discover what they are. And then the second step is to let go of these limiting beliefs. If you tell yourself it's too late for me to change, that's a limiting belief. Instead, say there's always time to start chasing my dreams, and wholeheartedly feel into that. So you can overcome self-doubt and gain the confidence that you need to have a successful and rewarding life. If you want additional accountability and help with this, you should join our Healing Hive group. Click the link below in the description to learn more about our private group.